painting is something. It's hanging on a wall in my house right now. Not sure why. It was bought in 1993 by my mother and my father. It came with 2 couches in order for, at the time, my 2 sisters, as well as my parents, to make a house more of a home with this beautiful piece of art. Now, in 2019, I could tell you right now that this is not something that is going for much more than $100 at the very most. In fact, you might have to give it away for free at a garage sale. But the point is that I am very critical of this painting because I don't like the color scheme. The setting is, I'm not sure where that's at. And yeah, wouldn't buy it today. But, you know, I'm not sure, in maybe 200, 300 years, this piece of art could potentially go for millions of dollars, and I would have no way of knowing that because unless science gets its act together, I will be dead by then. I think that history can really teach us a lot about how people have been critical for centuries and millennia of things that at the time were not able to be appreciated. However, with some hindsight, humanity can appreciate it. The thing that was once critiqued can actually become something beautiful or sought after. So I'm an avid Twitter user. I wouldn't say avid, I'd say I probably use it once or twice a day, and I mainly use it for my daily dose of memes, political and pop culture news, and above all, and my favorite thing, is listening to people critique everything, because the technology of today has connected everybody, and the beautiful thing about that is that you can literally know everybody's opinion if they put it on the internet. Now, the reason that I bring that up, Twitter and how everybody critiques everything on that social media platform, is that it kind of magnifies and represents the amount of criticism that has been going on in humankind for as long as people could record those sorts of things. It's really easy to critique things in your day and age and in your generation. I can critique this painting right now, but who knows where it's going to be in the future. And I think that if we look through history in general, a lot of things that we hail as important, historically important, the things that we're paying attention to right now in our culture might not mean anything in 200 or 300 years. For instance, a lot of politics that have gone on throughout society, throughout humankind, is noted, but it's not necessarily as important, because I think a lot of what history really shows is the advancement of humans and the evolution of technology and the achievements that we reach. A lot of technologies such as the telegraph or the light bulb. Other than that, a lot of politics that I think right now we criticize all day. Politics, the struggle, the fight between the Republican and the Democrat, and the progressive and the liberal and then the conservative, those parties clashing constantly on a daily basis, and everybody has an opinion about it and a critique about it. In the grand scheme of things, we're going to more focus on the invention of the iPhone and the invention of even just mobile devices in general, being able to call somebody from anywhere in the world that has service from a cell tower, and instead of Donald Trump, Barack Obama, or Hillary Clinton, any number of these politicians will one day just be small blurbs in history books that more reflect the achievements of humanity rather than the silly little bouts and quarrels that we have with each other politically. So I think the whole point of this video is in the same way that history has reflected that sense of change, and it's almost a characteristic of humankind and humans in and of themselves to be ever changing and to be ever evolving into different forms of itself, whether it is to get better or to learn new things. You you and I are experiencing change all the time, and for us to be critical of anything within ourselves as well as anything around us without first giving it more than just one glance, it's incredibly important for us to, one, get it right, and not to fall victim to the critiques and the influences of people around us, but instead to be our own people, to be our own thinkers, to be our own teachers. We obviously gain wisdom from people around us, but if you were to go off of, again, what people said about Shakespeare back in his day in the 1500s, we wouldn't see Shakespeare as we do now. Then his material is incredible. His plays are nothing that anybody else has ever created and might not ever create. And that's the funny thing is that there might be another Shakespeare or somebody who comes along in the future that's better than Shakespeare and writes better plays than Shakespeare, but for us to discount Shakespeare's work now as they did back then would be quite a travesty. And so I think in every year and every moment we need to be focusing on what really makes humans great, and the achievements of humans, whether it is other humans or even ourselves, our own personal achievements, being able to respect it and appreciate it and value it, in hopes that we can look upon it and say, that's great, and then also look forward and say, I can do things that are even greater, even better, and so that we can write our own history of our own lives, of myself, then being able to be proud of it, and the journey that I've experienced for the past 23 years, and then for the next however long that I am alive, and being able to write that not only for me, but for the appreciation of my friends and my family, and who knows, maybe the world, if I have enough of that influence. And everybody is capable of that sort of influence in the world, of being able to make a difference that is resounding for millions to hear. And so just like the person who painted this, I don't personally enjoy it, but I can't say that in 200 years this is going to, again, be worth millions of dollars. And it's important to appreciate the time and the work that went into this painting, and that the hands that made it might be the hands of a genius, but I'll never know. All I can say right now is that I wouldn't buy it, but I can appreciate it. And the works that I make and the things that I do in my life, hopefully I can appreciate one day. Then I should appreciate right now and always be working to do better, because as history again has taught us, there's so much to be done new. And it's never good to be stagnant. And it's never good to be critical of things that, and it's never good to be critical about things that may have value that you just might not be able to see. So again, whoever made this, if you're listening, good job.